In this new series, we are going to cover GeoServer from A to Z, and in today's first tutorial, we will take an introductory visit to GeoServer to understand what GeoServer provides us. First of all, let me talk about why we use GeoServer. If I speak in simple words, GeoServer work as middle tier in processing your raw data or prepared data for publishing on a web page. The meaning of what I am saying is that GeoServer takes input data in the form of a shapefile from you or as a geodatabase. Then it processes it, whether it's style data or it creates a cache and provides services as WFS, WMS or WCS by making URL based on it. If I try to explain the properties of GeoServer to you by drawing it, I am taking GeoServer as a middle layer here. And we will see how can we collect data as input for GeoServer. We can retrieve data from PostGIS here, or can we use any other special databases like Oracle Special, etc. Next, you can use GeoPackages for input of GeoServer. GeoPackage used as special databases within SQLite. Then we can use the shapefile as input for GeoServer. In addition to this, you can call raster georeference images as input in GeoServer. Apart from this, you can also take online services as input, which can include services from ArcServer or GeoServer. And then you can style and publish again those services. So these are all input services on which GeoServer processes, styles and publishes data as output. The output from GeoServer is provided in a different formats, which includes first is WMS mean web map service. Apart from this, there is a WFS service where we get data in feature format. Next we get WCS and WPS services. With them we will look into them in details in the upcoming videos of this series. So if I summarize, in WMS we receive the output in the form of an image or raster. The WFS allows us to access our attributes and we can easily get its attribute and styles. Also we can apply any query on its attribute. When it comes to WCS, Web Coverage Service, it is referred to as a web coverage service. When we search on a browser, we will see that we use the input data obtained from this service for analysis and modeling process. This is the definition of WCS. When we talk about WPS, it is referred to as Web Processing Service. A web processing service specification is an international specification for serving and executing geospatial processing on the web. So the information related to this will be available to you through Google, but we will focus more on our WFS and WMS services in this series. So we had installed GeoServer in the last tutorials. If someone has not watched that video, they can find the link in the video descriptions. So we will activate GeoServer by going to its install folder and starting it using the bash file by administrative. So as soon as we start it, we will see a CMD file that will activate GeoServer services one by one. So we will wait until all our services are activated of GeoServer. Because we use GeoServer to publish our data online, so you can set up a VM server and install GeoServer on that. Besides that, many hosting service providers also offer direct GeoServer services to publish your data. I will guide you at the end of this series on how to publish your data online using that online hosting. So wait for that. So now first we open the GeoServer interface in the browser. This is the same as opening Apache or web services other, but here you need to the use of port 8080, which is the default port of GeoServer. When we open it from the web URL, you will see the first page of GeoServer and where you will need to log in to use it. In today's video, we will explore the interface of GeoServer. So to easily log in, you should use the default username admin and password GeoServer. As soon as you log into this, you will have control over your GeoServer. In the first panel, you will see information about and status, which will provide you with details about your server. After this, there are concern about data controls. Next is services panel. These are the same services that we discussed at the beginning. Next is settings and tile caching, in which we will see how we can cache for raster images. And last, the security panel is where you can create different user roles for GeoServer and securely share data to the public access. So if we first look at the welcome page, there is an instruction from GeoServer that first you should change your username and password. As I had mentioned, GeoServer provides us with online services. Therefore, if we don't change its credentials, someone could potentially access it using a default password. So it's necessary to change the password. I am not changing the password for this tutorial series right now for easy work, but my advice for you it is to change it immediately after installation for your services. So it's my advice for you. So if we look at the server status here, I usually make the text slightly bolder by using Ctrl+, so that you can easily view it. So in the status tab, the first thing we get is the path of the GeoServer data directory, the URL, the total established connections, and how much of the allowable memory is currently being utilized at this time. The other information is also available and that displays the current status of the GeoServer, that is visible or invisible. The next module tab provides us with complete information about which modules we have installed. The initially installed modules are visible to you, but you can install them yourself here. You can view the version number of the installed modules, and you can also see the module's ID along with its current status, whether the module is enabled or disabled. And when you talk about system status, you will find all the logs related to GeoServer here. These logs will inform you about how much hardware capacity GeoServer is utilizing on your PC or server, so you can manage about its status. If we go to next, we have GeoServer logs available where you can access the last 1000 logs, but you can customize and view up to 3 million logs. Also, you can download these logs. Actually, this is how every request and response of yours is. Here you can see the response of your services, and if you are not getting the desired result, you will find out the issues here. What the reason or what is error here. Even here you can see the time of your request and response. We have a contact information panel next to us where you can fill in information related to your organization such as email and other details, and you can access this information as metadata in our services. So we have about GeoServer next to us, where you can find the complete documentation for GeoServer, which is available on the official website along with a wiki page and a link to the issue trackers where you can discuss your issues. This is an open community where you can openly ask your questions and you can receive answers. So about status covers everything here. Before we go to the data panel, we will once again return to the welcome page. And if we look here, you will see here that you have 7 workspaces, 9 stores and 19 layers. So you will need to understand that this is an arrangement related to GeoServer which manage this data according to it. To explain to you, I will take the workspace as an organization here. It means that you should create as many workspaces as a number of organizations you are working for, or alternatively create a separate workspace for each of your different projects. So you can create different stores within a workspace. What I mean is that you can create more than one store in a single workspace. But what is a store? In fact, a store is a physical location for your data where your data is stored. Furthermore, within that store, multiple layers can also exist. For example, if you have created 2 stores in one workspace, then each store can contain up to 15 or more layers. It's very important to understand. Let me explain it once again. First, we create workspace. Then in it we can create multiple stores, and in these stores your physical data is stored, which can be both raster data set or vector data. It can also be linked with your PostGIS or packages. In the end, your layer is created according to your geometry. So if you now look at the data panel, you will see the same thing there. The first thing is the layer preview, which display the published layer as on output. Then you are viewing the workspace, doors and layers in the same order as we discussed. Along with the layers, you can also see the layer group. This is used for grouping your layers so that if you want to provide access to multiple layers in the same service, you use the layer group. The next link is this style appears to us, which we use to set the symbology and coloring for our services. Service may be data may be in service raster or vector. So we jump into the workspace from here. You can also go from the left panel or the welcome page. Here by default all workspaces are visible with name, and default site workspace is selected here. So if I click on a workspace, related information will open and you can view other informations. Here you can set this workspace as the default. So in the security tab here, you can see user management for this workspace. Here you can assign specific rights to each user for only this workspace. You can define which user has editing rights and which user has only viewing rights. In the same way, if we explore the stores, we can see the name of its parent workspace before the store. If I sort this column, you will see that we have 4 stores in the same workspace. Here symbol showing for raster data in the stores we have, and if I click on any store, it opens, where the name of the workspace will be visible in the drop-down selection along with the name of the store and the descriptions. Also connection parameters showing data access URL. In this video we are just trying to understand GeoServer, what it does, so I am not explaining in practically. In the next video we will practically try out everything. So we have a workspace here with the name Nuric, and within it there are 4 different stores. Similarly, there is a workspace with the name SF, and we have created a new store within it with the same name. So if I open the SF store, which is vector type, you will see that the basic information is stored like we explored the raster, but here also an additional selection of the DBF file available. Beside this, we can apply indexing here. Apart from this, there are some additional selections available that we will see in the upcoming videos. So next we explore the layers panel. We are seeing the first column type and then title with some descriptions in layers. Then the name of our layer that is integrated with the workspace, and after that the name of the store is appearing. In our last column, you are getting the SRID of the layers projection. If we see first column, you will see that within the type field, different geometries are appearing. Here there are polygons, points, then polygons again, followed by polylines, and finally this is a raster. So if I open any polyline type layer here, you can view properties related to that layer here. You can see the name of the layer. Next, this layer is enabled, and then you will see a description. After that, you will see keywords that are used during searching time. You can add keywords yourself, and you will also have two options to add vocabulary. If you have online metadata services available, you can directly add their links as well. After that, we assign a projection to our layer, and here it is assigned as WGS 1984. The next bounding box has been assigned, which will show you the initial extent of the layer. The feature type details refer to information that you can also call attribute details. In the end, you will also see a SQL box here, where you can query the attributes of the layer. SQL is also used in ArcMap or QGIS, and in the next videos, I will show you how to apply it in detail. After that, we look at the Publish tab, where your layer is published. Here you will first see the cached response time, in which you will receive a response that is valid for 3600 seconds. Here all publishing settings will be visible to you, and you can also see that there is a layer style here in the which you assign symbology to the layer. In GeoServer, you can create your custom styling using the SLD format, which is in XML language for your custom styling, which we will see in next videos. The next step is to find the dimensions tab in this panel, and then we will explore tile caching and security, which involves role management. We will be practically demonstrating all of these in our next videos. So we have a layer group next. If I open any layer group from this panel, you are viewing multiple layers within a layer group, and you can arrange them here in the order of what you want, which will be reflected in the table of content you see on our web page in the same order. Here you will find the name of the layer. Beside this, you can apply a style to it. While according to the requirements, any layer can be enabled or disabled. The rest of the tabs will be available here, just like the ones you found in the layer panel, such as publishing or security etc. So if we go to the style panel, you will find many default styles that you can use. You can add a new style yourself, and you can also delete a style. To create a new style, you need to do coding in XML. You can edit the existing style also. Apart from this, you can upload the file in SLD format and assign it to a specific workspace. SLD is style layer descriptor can be designed in QGIS. QGIS provides you with the functionality to style any layer and then export it to an SLD, which can be imported here and applied to same project. We also visit the layer preview. Here you can find published layers, and we are going to open one of them to see. If I open it from here, you can view the published layer in the open layers library. In its address bar, you can see a complete URL. By clicking on the three dots in the top left, I can view its additional parameters, and we can even apply SQL here. In the next video, I will show you how to apply all of these so that you can see how you can get different outputs by applying it. In this way, you can open this layer in GML or KML, where you will see the coding. You can display these services directly on Google Earth by calling it through URL. You have different formats available here for using it. You can view it in image format, and besides this, it can also be downloaded. And these are the published layers we have that we can use in our GIS based web applications. Next, we have modules for our services. We won't open it right now. Instead, we will practically explore it in the next video to see how it facilitates us. Also, we have setting modules, which is also we living for now. When we image process the next time, I will let you know how to use it. In our tile caching, we will see how to cache the tiles when you publish an image. What is tile caching? Let's talk about it. Tile caching is the process by which images are downloaded and saved to a cache for faster retrievals. In the next section about security, you will find the settings for GeoServer. It's similar to the settings for all other softwares. In this way, there are authentications and passwords tab where you can create new user, assign roles to users, and manage user management. We have created this user role to grant access to any user or group to a specific workspace. And within that, you can also see what level of access you have provided, whether it's only for viewing or also for editing and deleting. Then here you can define data security and service access levels. We will be doing all of this practically in the upcoming videos. We have taken an overview of GeoServer, which will give you an idea of what functionality GeoServer offers. Now you can easily start working with it. So before you proceed with the practice, make sure to install GeoServer. If you have not watched my previous video, you can find the link in the description, which will guide you on how to install GeoServer. After that, we will be using GeoServer to create a GIS web dashboard. So this video was necessary that we could make friends with your GeoServer. This will remove any fear you have from your GeoServer, as we don't know what a GeoServer and what it's doing. To watch this tutorial, you need to open GeoServer and parallel click on each module to see how it works. In the very next tutorial, we will involve hands-on practice work. I will show you how to publish WMS and WFS services, and also I will demonstrate how to access it in ArcMap and QGIS, showing you how to access your services on that. So take care of yourself and your family. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share the video and like it. I am Mohammed Sohail and you were watching GIS Schools.